Perfect. Well, welcome everyone to the next session of the Women's Wisdom and Impact Collective. Always wonderful to see you all here. I will continue to let people in as we get rolling. Today we've got three spotlight speakers, as well as everyone else in the room will get a chance to introduce themselves. And for those that I'm still letting people in here, for those that don't know me, because we do have a few new faces in the room, the main thing I do is really creating multi-author books to give women opportunities to become published authors by writing one chapter in a book. And many of the people in the room have been in my books, and all of our spotlight speakers are authors from my books. So it's always exciting to learn more about them and get some real life experience. And let's see. Let's start by doing some group introductions. So basically, we will have time to get everybody doing a quick introduction, but we'll try to keep it as short as possible. Aim for like 30 seconds of just who you are, where you are, what you'd love everyone to know about you. And let us start at the top. Mantri, would you like to tell us a bit about you?
Hi, everyone. I'm Montre Rucker Adams. I am here from Houston, Texas, by way of Cleveland, Ohio. We've only been in Texas for about 4 years. Um, I am a writer, marketing communications, public relations practitioner, owner of Visibility Marketing, and I've written thousands of articles and working on my second book, Just Do Your Dream. And I'm part of the Rooted in Resilience Collective, and I'm looking forward to that.
Perfect. Letting a couple more people in. Perfect. Thank you. And then let's pop over to Lynn. Lynn, tell us about you.
Thanks so much, Kathy. I'm Lynn Schuessler Williams. I'm in Louisville, Kentucky, and I teach a process called Lucid Sequence that is aimed at quickly and easily teaching us to get out of our own way. And I also have three community-based side projects, the Wise Women Collective, the Be More Conference for Women, and the Bridge Collective, which is a
Sally Harden.
Chrome extension app that helps us all connect. So that's me.
Perfect. Great to have you here. And if everyone can mute if you're not speaking at the moment so we don't get any background noise popping in. Let's go over to Susanna, all the way from the UK. Tell us all about you.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Susanna. I do live in the UK. I've known Kathy now for about 5 years. I've written for years. I was a teacher and a healer, and I worked with special needs children, helping them discover their special gifts. And I have written for Kathy, and also it urged me on to write two books called Man in a Series. I'm making a rainbow series. The third book's just about ready to go. Kathy introduced me to my publisher, Mary. The books are magical moments of a mystic, and they're poems about my mystical experiences and about working with children who also have mystical experiences. And the third one that's about to be released is about my experiences with dragon and goddess energy. So that's where I'm at.
Perfect. I love it. And for those that are just coming into the room, we're doing about 30-second quick intros of people in the room. And as always, feel free to put your contact information in the chat, mix, mingle, get to know each other, connect. And if you do have any events coming up that you want people to know about, put those in the chat as well. And you can mention them quickly while we're coming through if it's a quick thing too. So let's go over to Kim. Kim Madrid.
Thank you for having me. My name is Kim Madrid. I'm an associate managing director at the University of New Mexico Foundation, where I lead our administrative team and support our executive office. And in full transparency, I knew nothing about this group, but I saw that my friend Elaine Strom was part of the group. And I served with Elaine on the International Association of Administrative Professionals Foundation Board, where she has finished up her time, but I'm continuing to serve. And so I couldn't resist coming on over and seeing what Elaine was up to. So thank you for having me.
Perfect. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are very glad that you have joined us, and hopefully you'll continue to come to more. And I guess that's a great segue over to start one of our spotlight speakers. So in our event today, we'll have 3 spotlight speakers that I will be doing a roughly 10-minute interview with. So let's hop over to Elaine as our first spotlight speaker. Elaine, you want to tell us a bit about you?
Sure. Thank you so much. I have been to a few of these groups. I had some other commitments that were in the way for some of them, so I'm really excited to be back. And thank you, Kathy, for bringing us all together. This is a wonderful group and appreciate the support you give all of us. So I'll introduce myself, and I have less than 10 minutes here, so hopefully we can connect after as well. I'll put my contact info in the chat here. So yeah, please reach out and get in touch. My name's Elaine Strom. I live in Halifax, Nova Scotia, and I own Crafted to Scale Business Management Consulting. So I'm going to share a bit with you today about how I got connected with Kathy, about my involvement in one of her awesome multi-author books, and then a bit about the client journey from hot mess to crafted to scale, and I'll tell you what that means. So I should start by telling you that I've always wanted to write a book ever since I was a kid. I met Kathy Dirksen through the Canadian Women's Chamber of Commerce, and when she invited me to join one of the books, I thought that perhaps I didn't have enough to say of value. Kathy really has a gift, though, of showing us our strengths, and I thoroughly enjoyed writing a chapter for the book called From Inspiration to Success, The Entrepreneurial Journey. So stay tuned. We'll share some details about when it will be published, and then hopefully you'll want to download a copy. I was also fortunate enough to travel to New York City in March with Kathy and the Inspirational Author Retreat. So there was also a billboard experience where we got to see ourselves and the book cover up on a billboard in Times Square. It was definitely a venture that I would recommend, and I have some amazing professional photos from Times Square that I can use on my website and my socials and everywhere else. So please connect with me, and you'll see those soon. As Kim mentioned, we were able to serve together on the board of a charity, the IAAP Foundation. The board service was really instrumental in my journey to open my business because of the leadership experience and the strategic thinking. So I'm super thankful for that experience that really triggered my move from my job in healthcare into opening my business. So I'll share more about my business now. So I founded Crafted to Scale, so female-owned and operated business. And what I want to say, so you already know this first part, is that the biggest limit in everything in life is capacity. And as entrepreneurs, we are often at full capacity. And so, for example, when this mug is full, I can't get any more in it. But I really love to create capacity for people. And so I specialize in that now. And growing businesses and entrepreneurs hire me as a business capacity specialist to build their operational capacity so they can scale. So a lot of brilliant entrepreneurs are really buried and working excessive hours. And then they plateau because they don't have the structure to grow and are just at full capacity. So I like to affectionately call this the hot mess syndrome. For example, one of my clients, let's call them Pat for now. So my client came to me the first time we met and said, I'm a hot mess, I'm super disorganized, and I can't grow any more without support. So I love what has happened over time. After several months of working together, their client base increased by 25%. And what they're really happy about is having time for creative pursuits, specifically writing, feeling less stressed, and also showing up with fresh energy. So imagine waking up and knowing that your systems are running smoothly, your client delivery is seamless, and you've got this strategic space to focus on your priorities, not just the daily grind. Okay, so I have a question. I was wondering how many of you have team members? I actually can't see all the hands. Does anyone here have team members?
Linda, Kim, Sharon,
Perfect.
Audrey.
Perfect. A bunch of you. Good. So I'm going to tell you three things. And those of you without team members, these three things will help you when you are at the point where you need to bring on support. And I just want to say everyone deserves support. So the first mistake is abdication versus delegation. It's so common that we will dump our tasks and assume that our staff will just fill in the blanks rather than building a true process for them to follow. And that process ensures that they'll repeat the work the same way every time, which is the way you want it to be done. The second mistake is strategic work versus busy work, which is paying for our skilled support, but only using them for low-level, repetitive, busy work. And the third mistake is the lack of clarity. So that's not setting the team member up for success with defined expectations and standard systems. So these are all things that I help people with. Because everyone deserves to be supported so you can grow your business and make the impact that you really want to make, which is why we're all here. And so the last thing I'm going to talk about is reclaiming your time, and something we can't create more of, so we need to get some back. As a business capacity strategist, I build systems, operational structure, and accountability. Before I opened my business, I spent 24 years working with the top executives, and so I learned how to protect an owner's time. People work with me in a variety of ways. The first step is we make a plan to get you from where you are to where you want to be. And then I support with accountability. I also work with people on specific projects, or we can partner on a monthly basis with specific packages for specific people's needs. And it's ongoing support for your growth. So remember that you deserve support, and I'm going to put my link in the chat for a complimentary capacity call. And if you'd like to meet with me, we can identify your number one roadblock. So click on the link so that it opens up in your browser. To close, I just want to mention rest, because as business owners, we repeatedly learn about the power of rest, especially when we don't have enough of it. When rest comes first, you'll have more energy for work, be more effective, and show up as your best for your clients. So I encourage you to take a tangible action this week to give you a little more rest. So you might block off an hour for creativity. You could also set an alarm for 30 minutes before your regular bedtime to stop scrolling or doom scrolling, and put the phone away and go to bed 30 minutes early. Another suggestion for anyone who may, like me, when you're too busy, lay in bed swirling over your to-dos, just write out your to-do list before you go to bed, and then it gets it out of your mind and onto paper. And you deserve to be rested so that you can grow your business and make the impact you want to make. So I just want to say again, thank you, Kathy, for this awesome community and for bringing us together and supporting us all.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for being one of our spotlight speakers. And yes, it's been fun getting to know you through the book project and meeting in person in New York City and having a lot of fun while we were there. So thank you. Thank you. It's great to have you. So we're going to move on to more introductions from the group. So again, for those who have just come in, we're doing a roughly 30-second intro of who you are, where you are, what you're up to, those kinds of things. So let's go over to Melissa Walters Caulfield.
Hi, everybody. Thank you. First time. Thanks to my friend Sue, who was in the call today, for inviting me. I just met Kathy for the first time on Monday. I guess we were introduced. So I have a business called the Leadwell Collective. I spent my career in the tech industry, left a couple years ago, and started this on the belief that the tech industry really needs better leaders. And we think that empowering women to do that is part of the way that we get there. So I will put my LinkedIn in the message in the chat, as well as we do have a couple of webinars coming up. One later today might be a little bit tight, but one on Sunday. We do these regularly, just different topics. But this one is a free event to women who are trying to understand why working really hard isn't advancing their career, and some strategies for how to raise their visibility. So I'll pop that in the chat. It's really nice to meet you all.
Perfect. And where are you located?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm on Vancouver Island. So in a tiny little town, just a little, about 30 minutes north of Victoria, BC.
Perfect. Well, welcome, welcome. We're glad you're able to join us here.
Thank you.
And let's go over to Monica Walls.
Hello, everybody. I am Monica. I'm the founder of Kekka's Usna, and Kekka's Usna is a lipstick brand. I'm a former corporate refugee. I'm an ex-HR executive, and lipstick is so much more fun. And I think it's not just about lipstick. It's not just something that's in your bag or a piece of a cosmetic, but it truly is giving me the opportunity to meet amazing women and celebrate all their lovely individuality and who we are. And my website and socials are full of real people, my friends, my family, people I meet networking. And I love that I get to do that every day. And this is so much more fun than HR. So thank you.
Perfect. Well, we're glad you're here with us today. Wonderful to see you. Let's go over to Maggie Reedy.
Hi there. I'm on Vancouver Island and I was invited by Sue, and I've been here a few times. And I have been a psychotherapist for 3 decades, working with age 3 to 93 and in trauma in Indigenous communities, in grief and loss, and in all kinds of things from play therapy to couples to breakdowns in midlife. And what I did to do that work, which I loved for 3 decades, was I had an icon, a personal icon of being the lighthouse. So the lighthouse can't stop every storm, it can't rescue every vessel, it cannot change the wind. And yet it is anchored and rooted in a way that it is so important. The lighthouse is so important. And I want us all to be our own lighthouse. I think we're on this spinning planet and we're busy, amazing women. And instead of me serving the whole world, I want to focus on the empowered women. I love that you were talking about rest, Elaine. That's my jam. And I love that I'm going to say, I hope I get your name right, Monterey. I love that you were talking about do the dream. I want to take the empowered women and give them the place to replenish, to re-anchor, to let go of what's no longer serving, where the leaks are, and to strengthen their lighthouse inside and to shine as bright as they can. And I think every now and then we got to reassess that and rework it and retweak it and realign it. So I'm going to do that through my Lighthouse Circles, which is an online 8-week program coming up again in the fall. But I have a retreat on Vancouver Island in a luxurious place, and I thought it was full. But somebody in here, I think, is very magical and powerful, a manifester, because I have 2 spots that opened up unexpectedly. So we're going to have 14 women, 3 days of amazing realignment, replenishing, magical, magical, magical retreat together. So if you're interested, I'd love to talk to you with a resonance and clarity call.
That was perfect. And yes, definitely put all your information in the chat so everyone can connect. And yes, Vancouver Island is a beautiful place to go. So for a retreat, that is the place to be. And let's stay on Vancouver Island and we'll go over to Sue Maitland.
Everyone, happy to be here. Yeah, so what I do is actually I help people who've been living a definition of success that may not be their own. They may have just been following a path that other people suggested would be good for them, and they've actually woken up and realized, I don't think this is really what I want to do, and I want to explore perhaps what that could be if I was really living a fulfilled life, and if I was able to quieten my inner critic. I'm quite passionate about helping us recognize when our inner critic or imposter syndrome or phenomenon, as you like to call it, pops up, because I lived with it for my entire career in tech before I left that field and became a coach 13 years ago. So I think if you can do that, if you can give yourself permission to pause, like the kind of things that Maggie's doing there, and then actually ask yourself, am I choosing this life, or am I actually just falling into it because people told me I'd be good at this? And so many women here have all had that experience and actually made that conscious choice. And I, as I say, I did it 13 years ago. I love creating that space for people to have that conversation with themselves, get to know themselves deeper, and then find the courage and confidence to kind of create the life, that the success that they define as success, as opposed to what perhaps other people might measure it as. I do it through one-on-one coaching, but I also have a community called the Connect and Thrive community, and we meet every week, and I have mini lessons and all kinds of things. So it's a cool place to be, and if you're looking for support as you make that transition, it really helps to be in a community with other people. And I love what you've done here, Kathy, with this community of writers. Thank you so much. That's why I keep bringing people.
Yes. Keep inviting people. Keep bringing them in. Your
Yeah.
community is a wonderful group that we are definitely a good match that way. So thank you.
Thank you.
Let's go back to our spotlight speakers. So the next spotlight speaker we've got coming up is Hillary. Hillary, come on down. How's it going?
Hi, Kathy. So good to see you, and so many of you that I've gotten to know through this and other related organizations. It's always a pleasure to be here. And Kathy, I owe you and Linda a debt of gratitude. Had the two of you not encouraged me to participate in the first collaborative book that I've been involved with, Leadership, Women, Inspiring Women Leading with Purpose, I would not have really taken up the mantle to do all the writing I've been doing. That was the first of what is now 4 chapters in different collaborative books, 2 of them with you, Kathy and Linda, and 2 more that are coming out in September. So I want to thank you both for that. And it has spurred me to finish my own independent book. I've been speaking with a publisher, so I am eternally grateful to both you, Kathy, and you, Linda Fisk, for giving me that much needed little kick in the tuchus to get moving on something that I do enjoy doing so very much. So I want to thank you for that before I do anything else. The other thing I'm up to is I am blissfully enjoying building a business that has nothing to do with my first career as a lawyer. I'm now, through my business, Minerva Turning Point Strategies, acting as a structural engineer for founders who have taken on too much weight all by themselves rather than letting it sit with the business and helping them return back to their creative side rather than being an operator. It seems from listening to so many of the other women on this call that we all seem to have arrived at the same conclusion from different perspectives on recognizing how women need to get back to themselves, need to define their own measure of success, the career and lives that they really want. And it is such a joy to see so many women coming together to help each other out and support them in that way. It's not something that I saw growing up back in the 60s and 70s. So seeing it manifest itself now is just an extraordinary thing to be a part of.
Yes. And I love how you are bringing that side. And it must have been a challenge to go from being a lawyer and having everything so structured to now knowing that you can just open that up and lead from your heart and really just share the information that you want to put out there in the world. And do you have any events coming up or things that people can join in with you?
Well, I know it's not something that I'm doing, but it's something that I'm particularly passionate about joining in October. I know Linda's going to be there. I'm not sure if Laura is. A dear friend and colleague of ours at Leadership Global, Suzanne Castle, is putting together this amazing conference in late October in Huntington Beach called Verve, where it will be an extraordinary collection of brilliant and talented women coming together to support each other, to lift each other up. There'll be extraordinary business leaders there to give us guidance both on our business and how to be stronger and better and healthier for ourselves, because the more we do that for ourselves, the more we can do that for others around us. So it's not my event, but it's an event I'm passionate about attending, and I want to share that all with you. It's called Verve, and you can go to SuzanneCastle.com. I believe that's Suzanne's website. That will give you the information about Verve. It's October 22nd through 25th. Is that right, Linda? Does that sound familiar? Yeah. So that is what I would suggest. And the books that I have coming out will be coming out in September. And I will certainly share that information with you. They're both on leadership. One is called Impact. The other is Leadership. Leadership is through the Los Angeles Tribune, and Impact is with another independent author and publishing house.
Oh, very
I expect
cool.
they'll all be available on Amazon.
Wonderful. Yeah, you've been busy. I love that. I love all the new things that you're stepping into. And it was great to meet you in New York City and have some fun. And hopefully you can pop over and see us next time we're over there on October 2nd. So come and have a little celebration
That'd
with
be
us while we're
wonderful.
wandering Broadway.
And I will put all of my information if you want to reach out to me, talk to me about writing, talk to me about business and how to grow your business in a way that allows you to be yourself, your creative self, and not deal with everything, every issue, everything that comes up, and let go of some of it. Happy to talk to any of you, all of you. It's terrific being here with all of these really powerful, badass women.
Perfect. Well, so great to have you on as one of our spotlight speakers. So thank you so much for sharing all of that. And I guess on that note, let's go over to Linda Fisk. Linda, do you want to tell us a bit more about Verve? And I noticed that you put it in the chat there with the links. And do you want to introduce yourself, tell everybody who you are, what you're up to, and just in our usual little 30 seconds to a minute kind of thing?
I'll be really quick. My name is Linda Fisk. I serve as the chairwoman of an organization called Lead Her Ship Global. So Lead Her Ship Global that Hurley just mentioned. And Suzanne Castle is a member of Lead Her Ship Global, has been for about 5 years. She runs one of our leadership boards called the Trust Forum. She is a phenomenal facilitator, incredible coach, incredible master of orchestrating and facilitating incredibly transformational events. She's doing an event for us in October that I'm super excited about. It's called Verve. I included all the information in the chat about Verve. So as Hillary mentioned, it's an incredible room, and through because she is a Lead Her Ship Global member and a leader within the community, she's given us an opportunity to provide a discount for anyone who wants to attend Verve. You receive a $55 discount on the price. So I included that code in the chat message. In addition, there's no charge at all for this. I'm extending a warm invitation for anyone that would like to join the Refer and Recommend. It is tonight at 5 o'clock Central, 6 o'clock Eastern. It is the largest collection of extraordinary women that we meet with every single month. There's usually anywhere from 50 to 250 women on this call. These are all women who are business owners, business founders, entrepreneurs, or C-suite executives. We have women from the C-suite of Tesla, Jamba Juice, SoulCycle, Teleflora, all kinds of women that have been a part of the Refer and Recommend and are members of Lead Her Ship Global. So if you're interested in joining a really bold, powerful, remarkable room where women exchange value, please join the Refer and Recommend tonight. I included the direct link as well as the registration link in the chat. And it is absolutely remarkable because there is literally no way you're going to walk out of the refer and recommend without something, whether it's a connection to a potential joint venture, strategic partnership, client relationship, media opportunity, speaking opportunity, platform. No matter what you're looking for, there will be opportunities that the refer and recommend to receive any and all of that, right? So if that's of interest to you, don't hesitate to join Refer and Recommend as my guest. This is normally reserved for the women of Lead Hership Global, but I'd love to invite all of you to be a part of that if that serves you. I know Sue Maitland has been a part of the Refer and Recommend a couple months. Thank you so much for joining, Sue. And I hope you found quite a bit of value in the Refer and Recommend, but all of you are welcome to come if that serves you. So there we go.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And yes, I can definitely say that Verve will be amazing. Susanna Castle is so energetic and just an amazing leader. So if you can get down there for that, that is definitely something to do. And I would also say that, yes, the Refer and Recommend event today is definitely a place to go. I am there pretty much every month. I think I missed last
Kathy
month.
could run it for me. I mean, honestly, she's so good at facilitating events, and she's been at every single Refer and Recommend. I literally could just turn it over to you, Kathy. So thank you for your participation and your leadership within that environment too.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you for being here in this room too. And let's jump over to Laura. Laura Patterson, tell us a bit about you.
Sure, and thank you and for this wonderful community. And I will give Refer and Recommend also a thumbs up. I won't make tonight, but I rarely miss it, and it's definitely a worthwhile way to spend some time if you're looking for some opportunities to connect with others. So give that a thought. I will give that a 5 on the 5-star review. Okay, I'm in Austin, Toasty Austin. I'm Laura Patterson. I've been hearing some recurring themes around capacity, energy management, alignment, all of those things. And one of the things I find is that a lot of people are expending a tremendous amount of energy, especially people who are solopreneurs and business owners, but they're not getting the results. And if you are sitting in that space, you're probably not alone. It's very common. And one of the most common causes is random acts. That's what eats up your capacity. That's what sucks up the energy. And so I'm Laura Patterson, and I'm the founder and president of Vision Edge Marketing. And I help those people who are suffering from random acts to replace them so that they get their time and resources are allocated to growing their business. We focus on strategic clarity and deliberate customer-centric growth so that you move the ball, as we say in Texas, down the field. Love to connect with anyone. And Elaine, I'll put a little note in. I think there's probably some things that we might have in common. Thank you, Kathy.
Yes, you guys should definitely connect. And I love your focus on random acts, because I think that's something that even just when you say it, it kind of draws our attention back to it. The fact that, especially as entrepreneurs, there are so many different things moving at all times. It is so easy to get distracted and just think, oh yeah, I can answer that. Oh yeah, I can do that. When we should just be focused on one thing at a time, get that done, move forward. And I love your moving the ball down the field. Here in Canada, it would be the puck down the ice. Perfect. Speaking of more Canadians, let's go over to Claire.
I'll have to use that in the wintertime.
That's right. That's right.
Thanks, Kathy, and hi, everybody. Hope you're doing well. I am hailing from what's looking like pretty sunny Victoria at the moment. I have about 3 focuses at the moment. I know that's paradoxical in nature to say so, but I work as an enterprise change lead, supporting organizations through system and overall change rollout. So that's a part of my life. Another important part of my life is that I work as a registered clinical counselor and an EMDR trained therapist, working with both individuals and groups. One thing I will add about trauma in general, based on my journeys with it so far, is that if you have an adverse experience or trauma, depending on how you wish to frame it, if you can get to it within 90 days, your journey to recovery is much, much sooner, which is why I'm super passionate about delivering the ASSIST protocol, either as one-on-one, or also in groups. So if you're interested in learning more about that, I will put some info in the chat a little bit later. Think similar to Hillary, I'm working on a side passion project that's phase 1, which will launch probably in September. And one piece of it is photography. It's my conversation with the universe, as I call it. And yeah, you'll find me outdoors, snorkeling, free diving, and hiking when I can actually get the time to get out there. So look forward to learning more about each of you, and feel free to reach out. Thanks.
Perfect. And yes, you definitely live in the perfect place for doing all those beautiful outdoor things.
Absolutely.
So I'm glad you are here. All right, so let's go over to Mindy. What's new with you?
Hello, everyone. So nice to see some familiar faces and meet some new ones. My name is Mindy, and I am coming from Phoenix, Arizona, the south side of America. And I am a life coach and facilitator for women. And I was hello, Claire. We were in a book together. So I always like to bring my book that we did with Kathy. So Women Transforming the Landscape of Science and Tech. Nowadays, after 6 years of being a coach, I am transforming the landscape of women who know that there is more to this life than pushing through and checking boxes, and who want more freedom and want more peace and real aliveness in their everyday lives. I spent years burnt out in corporate healthcare IT, and then consulting, and calling my new business freedom until I learned to do that deep inner work that a lot of us are talking about, and be the lighthouse for myself, like Maggie said, and learning to help women build more self-trust and work with their fears and their faith. And it completely changed how I worked and how they work. And I am so excited to share that I just launched a circle for women that I have had in mind for 2 years, and I finally launched it this week. So thank you so much. It's a place for us to come together and practice staying true to ourselves and our freedoms that we want to create in our life, and slowing down to speed up and just take action and accountability on what we want in our lives. So I'll leave it there so I can keep going on and on, but thank you for having me, Kathy. This is such a great space.
Perfect. Well, we're glad you're here. And yeah, definitely put that in the chat so that everybody can connect with your new circle.
Thank you.
Looking forward to checking it out.
Thanks.
But let's go back to our spotlight speakers. So our next spotlight speaker is Sam, Dr. Sam Graber. Come on down.
Oh, hey, everybody. Thank you for
How's it
having me
going?
here, Kathy. I love groups like this where, we get to just show up and show who we are as real people, instead of just trying to stick out on the internet with our messaging. And man, that stuff's exhausting. Right. Yeah. So thank you for the opportunity to speak. Is there something, Kathy, you've known me so well over all these years. Is there something that you feel like I should focus on? Because I would say one of my strengths and one of my weaknesses is I have such a depth of experience that I could literally talk to probably any audience or any human being about something meaningful in their life. But sometimes if I don't know kind of where I should focus, so I would love to take
say
some
in this
guidance.
room, it'd be great to hear some of your wisdom from the side of women's health.
Okay,
And
absolutely.
how we can kind of take more control of our health and understand that side of things. So I know that's part of what you do that I always love to tap into.
Yes, absolutely. That is a wheelhouse that I'm really even digging down into deeper, because after my background is a chiropractor, I had practiced for over 25 years, hands-on with people, loved it. Didn't like the business after all those years. It just wore me out. And I think, Maggie, you can probably relate, and anyone else who's in clinical practice. We love the work, but the business side sometimes can really get a burr under our saddle. So after all those years, I leveraged and switched my experience into online coaching, which I thought, how hard could it be? Come on, it's coaching, it's talking to people. Holy cow, a whole other other realm there. In fact, I just did an interview with this wonderful woman who is calling her series Build Your Own Boat. And it's all about women who have taken a corporate career or, like myself, a clinical career and pivoted or built a different boat. And I'll link it in the notes here, because it was a really great interview conversation in which she really helped me get clear on some of the things that do distinguish my work from, say, a doctor, because, I don't doctor anymore. I'm still a doctor, but I'm not your doctor. The neat thing is I can come at any interaction I have with the clinical background and that expertise. So now I'm really narrowing my focus to be even stronger on helping people, much like Elaine was talking about with a strategic business plan. I do strategic health plans. That is my wheelhouse. That is where I excel. Being that I'm more on the holistic and quote unquote alternative side of the health coin ledger, I can look at somebody as more of the whole person that they are versus the pieced out version, and not like peace out, but like pieced out, PIE, pieced out version that you are in the medical system. Our medical system is great for emergencies. Please don't come see your chiropractor or someone like me if you got, an arm hanging off because you were just in a car accident. Like, go to the urgent care, go to the emergency room. But when it comes to health, it's such a misnomer, this healthcare. It's really disease management, right? If we're honest. And if you don't have a disease that they can name, code, and bill for, I don't really know what to do with you. I like to meet people there so that they can ideally avoid being a patient. We have patient advocates, and I'm like the healthy person advocate. I like to teach you how to be your own best advocate in the healthcare system. Because whether you're in Canada or, the United States of America, we have to be our own best advocate. And there is this massive and widening gap between us as an entity, as a full human being, and the system that we've outsourced our most important asset, which is our health and well-being. We kind of look to these doctors and bless them, like, more often than not, doctors are amazing people. They got into this for mostly the right reasons, and the system has just degraded. So it's incredibly important for you to know where you stand now, know some of what your history is, and maybe there are some underlying things kind of starting to say like, hey, I need a little attention here. And they're not big things yet, so they don't show up on a lab report or x-rays or whatever sort of system that you might be measuring yourself inside. But there are hints, there are glimmers. And so I'm really quite skilled. I mean, if I can brag on myself for a second, all this experience has really given me a skill set that really goes unparalleled, because I'm able to help you see from the clinical side. And again, I don't diagnose or doctor, but I say this is how you it could be called a health translator in a way. Like, here's how you translate all that gobbledygook in your reports, all that gobbledygook on your labs that say H's or L's or nothing. It's all green, and you're like, oh, why don't I feel as good as I felt 10, 15 years ago? So it's really that space of helping you learn about you. I don't think you need to be an expert on health, but you do need to be an expert on your health, yourself. Know your numbers, own your numbers, understand what that means. So you can say to your doctor, hey, doc, every year I come in here, every year and a half, you look at my numbers, you're like, looks good. See you next year. Well, what could I be doing differently? And they'll usually say, eat less, move more, which is all ridiculous. But there's no real anything. And then there's the flip side of the coin. If you don't mind, I'm going to bring this up. There are some of these functional medicine docs that are ripping people off. Like, I think it should be criminal, but I don't run the world, and I don't want that job. But it's really not necessary. It's just packaging something different that isn't working in traditional medicine. And I would say modern medicine is traditional. I'm more untraditional or unconventional. So I would say just we need to know ourselves so we can make our best decisions and our best choices. And I partner with people and help them do that. I'm like, all right, let's have a conversation, see what's going on, what's concerning you, what is your intuition telling you? because man, don't ignore her. We've been taught for too many decades to ignore our own intuition. I'm all about helping people get reconnected with that, and whatever that looks like for her. I don't sit in judgment. I am one of those people that is just open and loving and can hear anything and can sit with anything. And my biggest goal is to help you be that for yourself. And I would love to, I'll put a little information here about who I am, or you can find my Substack. That can, lead from articles about perimenopause, big menopause mouthpiece. Like I think we need to be talking about it more. I think there are so many different patterns that, we minimize, and we have medicalized menopause, but I think menopause is a spiritual transformation that just happens to have a physical aspect. But that's a whole other topic that I could happily go on and on.
That's a neat way to look at it. But yeah, no,
Yeah.
I love that. But yes, definitely put all your
I will do
your
that.
details in the chat. And yes, I encourage everyone connect with Dr. Sam. She is a wonderful person and clearly knows what she's talking about. So
Thank you.
Thank you for
Thank you.
being
Thank you,
here and being
Kathy.
one of our spotlight speakers. And
My pleasure.
wonderful. So let's go back to our introduction. So again, we're looking at about a 30-second who you are, where you are, what you're up to, what you'd like us all to know about. And let's go over to Ral. Where are you today?
Hello. I'm in Flower Mound, Texas, just north of Dallas. I'm still moving in to my new home. I've been here, I think today is day 6. So I still have some boxes and chairs to assemble and things like that. But it's getting there. And I moved from Alaska. And my story is that I've been an entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur, for 45 years. And now in this stage of my life, I'm working with entrepreneurs to help them create the kind of life that they really want and get out of that operator mode and be more of the owner who can step back and enjoy life. And I'm particularly focused on women who, really need to spend some time and energy on themselves for a change. And this is what I'm doing. I left my home, my husband came to Texas, and I'm focusing on me, and I'd love to help other women do the same thing and, find the courage to take care of yourself.
Perfect. Well, we're glad you had time to pop in here with us in the midst of all your moving and packing and unpacking and all those other adventures that come with a new home. So thank you for being here. It's great to see you. And let's go over to Sharon. Welcome. Where are you and what are you up to?
So I'm in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. So in the middle between my West Coast friends and my East Coast friends. I'm happy to see so many Canadians on the call. That was kind of a surprise. And I'm actually here because I stalk Hillary on LinkedIn, and she had posted this. So in the positive way of stalking people, not the icky way. She had posted this, and I thought, oh, that sounds cool. So I'm a corporate and business lawyer. Every kind of transaction you can think of, that's the kind I like to do. My goal is to have people come together, negotiate out their differences, try to come up with something that everybody can walk away from the table feeling happy about. And so it's a lot of buying and selling and setting up businesses and helping them get financing and helping them grow and helping them with succession plans once they're ready for that. I get to meet zillions of different people, which is what I think I like about my job. I've been doing it for 40 years. And no two deals are the same because no two groups of vendors and sellers or lenders and borrowers or what have you are the same. I'm also on way too many boards and committees. I do a lot of nonprofit corporate governance work, which I love. And I also do a lot of mentoring of young lawyers, primarily female, who very often didn't meet a lawyer before they even went into law school, didn't know what law school was going to be like. They only know what they see on TV, which is fortunately or unfortunately not real life. And so I got a lot of pleasure from that. I'm a mother of 2 kids still in university, 24 and 27, one finishing mechanical engineering and the other doing an English creative writing master. So I've got like the 2 ends of the spectrum of science and creativity. They both have a little bit of both in them. So that's cool.
Perfect. Well, I'm so glad you stumbled upon us and came along, and I hope you can join us for the next ones too. Wonderful to meet you. All right, let's jump over to Nancy. Nancy Norbeck. How's it going?
Hey, my name is Nancy Norbeck. I am in central New Jersey, about halfway between New York and Philadelphia, and I am your Messy Muse mentor. My work centers around my restorative creativity framework, which uses humanity, integrity, play, presence, reconnection, and community to help folks reconnect with themselves outside of the performative adulthood that tends to get pressed onto us as we grow up. So we're reconnecting with, that inner kid, that playful spirit that we used to be, that knows who we really are underneath all of that. And especially like if you've been through an experience, a toxic workplace, a really trying emotional experience like a divorce or something like that, it can be really, really useful to help you figure out who you really are underneath all of that and figure out, reconnect with that reality of yourself when that seems like something that's really lost. I also host the Follow Your Curiosity podcast, where I talk to all sorts of creative folks and also offer up my own tips and insights into the creative process every week. And I am launching a program for middle school story kids, which are creative writing kids, because there's not very much support for creative writers in schools. And that's called Imagination Lab. And I am looking for middle school kids who love to write, who need a home for the fall. So that is me in a nutshell, and I'll put all my info in the chat.
Yes, definitely put all that. And if you're looking for podcast guests, then I'm sure there's a lot of ladies here that would love to join you. So definitely put all those kinds of things in the chat too. So let's go over to Sylvie. Good to see you.
Hi, Kathy. Hello, everyone. Yes, it's the first time that I'm able to come in. I know that it's been going on for a while. I've been very busy or else traveling. This year has brought me to Mexico, to Tanzania, to France, plus many sites in Quebec. I got to know Kathy through the book Ripple Effect of Impact. I'm a documentary filmmaker, producer, and CEO of a company that's been going for 42 years. Very strong reputation. I'm out of Quebec, so I do a lot of work in French. I do international work, like I've done a film on Amazon. I mean, I've done many films, over 50 productions in the course of my career. But my interest was always to bring about transformation, either personal or collective, or political or social. And I can say that I have succeeded at that. And now I am working. I spent a little too many years doing the business side. That was getting down to back, the administration. Making films is very complex with regards to financing and all of that. But I'm now working on a film that is to help women rise to their full power, so that we can transform the world that we're living in.
Yes, I love
And
that.
I'll be doing some kind of focusing. I don't know when. In October, I think it is, on Kathy.
Yes, and definitely put
Yeah.
all your contacts in the chat so that everyone can connect you and see your.
Presently my website is in French, but I'm going to have a landing page like before doing it in September for this next film that we're working on. So I'll get to do that later on.
I'm looking forward
Nice
to
to
that
be
one
here
coming.
with you all. I could resonate with many of you talking.
Perfect. I'm glad you're able to make it. And let's go to Marva. Marva, tell us a bit about you and where you're at, what you're up to.
Thanks, Kathy. This is my first session as well. I've known about it. I keep trying to get to it, and I have allowed other random things to get in my way. So I have committed to myself that I was going to treat myself on a regular basis to these sessions because I have so much faith in Kathy. I'm a participant in a couple of her books. The first one, Grit
and Tenacity.
There we go. Grit and Tenacity. And I wrote an article about leadership called Leading by Lifting Others. And in the one coming up, which is about entrepreneurship, and what is the title of that, Kathy?
From Inspiration to Success, the Entrepreneurial Journey. And that's
There you
Elaine
go.
is also in that one.
I wrote the introductory chapters of that, and in which I outlined something that is new for me. I've been a small business consultant for many years and focused in small business work because I don't like big business. I just think that they're the bane of all existence. I am a former strategy consultant. I've been a COO, a CEO, a CFO, a CRO, a CMO, a CTO, believe it or not. And so what I bring to small business now in my kind of twilight years is a wide variety of experience because, and so what I am is I am a small business crisis interventionist. Some people would call me a turnaround specialist, but most owners don't want to admit that they're in the middle of a turnaround, but they will admit that they have a crisis. And so I am a crisis interventionist. I am not your typical consultant or coach. I sit with the leadership team or the owner of the company, and I help them make decisions and take action. I don't write reports. I don't give opinions. I don't coach them to better behavior. They'll get better behavior as they work with me, but the biggest issue about a small business crisis is that they do not have time to figure it out, and they generally don't have the knowledge or the resources to figure it out on their own. And to begin with, they don't know what their crisis is. They just know they're in trouble. And so I have narrowed it down to 6 forms of crisis: financial, revenue, operations, leadership, owner burnout, and exit value. And I can help them, first of all, identify what their biggest problem is and what they have to fix first. And then I help them do it. And I give them a 100% ROI guarantee. I guarantee that we will earn back in hard dollars a minimum of 100% of my fee before I leave them. And if that hasn't happened, then I keep working with them at no extra charge. And so that's who I am. I'm just reinventing myself because I realized I'd become kind of complacent and bored with what I was doing. So I'm launching a podcast and I'm writing a book and I'm getting involved in social media content and I'm launching this kind of new version of myself just because I wanted to. I wanted to see what it would look like, and I'm very excited about it.
Perfect. And don't forget to tell us that you're getting married.
Oh, and yes, part of this rejuvenation of my life is that I decided about a year ago that I was tired of living by myself. I've been divorced for almost 20 years, and I was really good at being independent, but independent can kind of get lonely when your kids grow up and your grandkids don't need you. And so being the kind of, interventionist that I am, I hired a coach. I went through a program. I very strategically started working all the systems to find somebody. And I was fortunate enough that just as I was about to give up, because it's a horrible experience to be out there dating on dating sites, it's just awful. Especially for professional women, about 80% of the people you meet are not real people. They're con artists, they're frauds, they're AI bots, they're fortune hunters. And so I met and then I've met just a lot of, excuse me, but assholes. I just met a lot of assholes. One of whom in my first conversation with him asked me if I would have breast augmentation if he paid for it. So I was about to give up and I met this lovely man where our first official date, we went to lunch because I just said to people, I will not carry on long text conversations with you. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in meeting real people and having real conversations. So we went to lunch, and then in our first real date, he asked me out and I said, I'm really sorry, I'm busy this weekend. I'm putting raised beds in my vegetable garden. And he said, sign me up, I can help you with that. And he drove 100 miles to dig holes in my garden and haul dirt and build raised bed planters. And I thought, this is a really nice man. And it's turned out that he's a really, really nice man. And we're planning to get married sometime early next year.
Excellent. I love that. We're running a little bit over, but sorry. But Olga, would you like to tell us a bit about you?
Oh, thank you so much, Kathy. I came later and just really enjoying that story. I was so afraid. I'm afraid. I'm single, and I'm so afraid to go to that site, because even though some people have a very good stories, but I had a horrible story. So just, I don't know. I'm waiting when God's gonna knock at my door and say, "Okay, Olga, you're ready." There's somebody around the corner. Or something like that. Anyway, I am from Russia originally, and I live in Nashville, Tennessee for 35 years. And I'm author. Actually, I used to have art gallery in Nashville, and I was teaching people painting, but COVID changed their lives and changed my life. And I wrote the book From Russia to America, that I'm sending the message to the universe that it should be a movie. And now I'm developing my speaking and coaching career, where I am speaking to people about that joy is learnable skill, and we are responsible to be happy. It's our responsibility. And I created a program, Human Energy Room. I put my information in the chat. As a matter of fact, tonight, 6 o'clock Central Time, and I'm Central Time, I have a free masterclass about energy. But who I'm looking for a business owner who has maybe a team that's affected by AI anxiety. And I will help to revamp, to create a new habits, to create literal, I'm giving them human tools, how to become better under the stress. That's what I'm doing. And I would love to communicate and collaborate with anybody. I would love to be on your podcast, because I have a very good resilient story outside of myself. And I would love all my information in the chat. Please connect with me. I'm looking forward to meet you ladies again. Thank you, Kathy.
Perfect. Well, we're so glad you're able to come in, and it's wonderful to see all of you. Thank you all for joining us. Sorry we went a few minutes late, but it's just wonderful the conversations we're having, and definitely get the chat, connect with everybody, get to know each other. And the next session we have coming up is on September 10th. And Marva is actually one of our speakers. Oh, Marva and Claire are both spotlight speakers in the September 10th event. So hope to see you there. Take care, everybody. Have a great day.
Kathy, it's the same time? At the same time?
That one is 2 hours later.
Because I don't see the schedule. That's why I linked in you, because I have my notes that this is once a month.
Because when you register, you should get a calendar link that you can put on your calendar.
I didn't get anything.
Okay, so yeah, we're the fourth Wednesday and the second Thursday, and they're about 2 hours apart. So
and
yes.
the second Tuesday. Sorry.
Say second Thursday. So that's what September 10th will be, the second Thursday.
What time?
And the fourth Wednesday. So today's the fourth Wednesday. And so, yes, so the
second Thursday, what time?
Is 2 hours later than this one.
Okay.
So it's 2 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. or 2 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m.
4 p.m.
Eastern.
Thank you so much. I enjoyed meeting you. Thank you. Thank you, ladies.
Good to see you all. Connect with me too if I'm not. Have a great day.